that the mic works okay. Make sure it's not too loud. What's that thing I was playing? Yeah, that thing. Got 2 viewers. Again, sorry about the crappy mic quality, camera quality, but that's all I've got. So we're just gonna be playing guitar, having fun, because why not? Hi, Countess. Just saw your video, by the way. I guess you already knew that because I had comment on it. But yeah, this is just gonna be a random do whatever the fuck we want kind of stream, because why not? Plus, spoopy holiday is right around the corner. Thanks for the video. No problemo. No problemo. I was just like you once, so yep. Gotta give the, new people a chance. Like the aspiring people, that's what I should say. Hey, Devil Dog Layer. Sorry, just jamming on my axe. See if I can't pull off that solo that I just learned. Okay, but if you remember a while back, was that this year or was that last year? I think that was. I gotta think about that for a minute. Was that last year? Yeah, I want to say that was last year because I covered Fight This War by Prince Whatever, and God, the solo is way off in comparison to the original. Like, oops. Camera's not in the right place. Like, this was the original. This was my solo. This is what I wrote. See, I almost went to play it just like it really is played, but okay, I gotta remember this. Yeah, it was something like that. See, I'm playing it the right way now. Yep, then I went to that string. Let's see. Nope. How did I do that? Something like that. Then, how'd the second part go? Oh yeah, this is the most challenging part. Nope. It was something like that. I just remember that. Now the new version, holy crap, did this take a lot of practice, but I figured out Prince Whatever style a little bit, and he has a very distinct style of playing the solo. It's mainly the parts where he goes, what do you call those? A descent. He has a certain way of doing it in this song, and I had to watch him like really closely to determine note for note what he was playing. And I still think I may have this part wrong, but whatever, sounds close enough. Damn it. Damn it. See, that's how I think it's played. I know this part's not wrong. Oops. Because I rewatched that sucker over and over again to make sure I was playing it correctly. Why you're really good at this? I wouldn't say that, but Hi, Judd. Hi, everyone. I need to sit up, apparently. Sorry. But yeah, that part is tricky. Because there's that shift right there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, he changes fingers. And it's for a good reason. Because he does that, and then there's a pull off up here, which goes like that, but it goes so quickly you don't even hear it. And then he shifts it with his finger. That is a hell of a stretch. And then he does that to slide down into the 15 where this next part goes. How does the part go? I can't even tell myself. There it is. Yeah, it's like something like that. But he does that to get down here, and then you actually let that note ring, and then you pull it off, and then you pick this note and hammer into that one, and then yeah, that like that, something like that. Then you just drop down into these ones. That part I had right, seeing that's the same note. But he plays it a different way. Instead of staying down here, he goes back to the 10th. Then he does something like this, which is really groovy kind of stuff. I try to get that pinch harmonic in there so that it sounds nice. Then he does this fucking shift, man. This is the most annoying part of the solo. But at least the second time it's a little bit more easy because the second part goes. See, so you can get to it a lot more easier. Then he goes down to the 15 again, and this part I know is incorrect, but whatever. It's close enough. And then this part took a lot of experimenting, but I just watched his fingers and how they move. He plays it with all four, but I can play it with my first, second, and third finger, so it's no big deal for me. Oh, hell no, it's not clear up there, but it's basically 10, 13, and 15 based, and it goes like this. Oops. Nope. Something like that. But basically that speed that it goes. And it took like a lot of experimentation because it sounds so much different when he's playing it, so I wasn't sure if that was fucking correct. But it is. It's pretty close. It's just a fast movement. Am I in the wrong tune? No, I'm not. Then the Empire is just simple, like, bluesy stuff. Yep, but that's basically the solo. I had he does the slides differently, but it's technically not incorrectly because of the notes being the same. Like, he does like a 12. I think that. Yeah, I think it was like. God damn it. Like, he does that kind of thing. He has a very specific way of playing. But yeah, altogether, see if I can play this in one go. Close enough. But I've gotten way better at it. Much better. Like before, I couldn't even play that shift. But that shift is the trickiest part of the entire solo. And was probably the hardest part of learning the solo, if I'm being completely honest. A little bit more. There we go. But yeah, it was really tough. Because I've never played that style before. It's just simple pentatonic stuff. I'm not used to playing pentatonic style. The easiest part was that, believe it or not, God damn it. That part is the easiest part of the entire thing. Everything else is just in a different order and stuff I'm not used to. Like I'm more used to playing slow and, melodically. So it's also against like my, what I'm used to. Like the most recent solo that I wrote. Let's see if I can get this in one go. No guarantees. Nope. Like that's the most recent solo that I wrote, and as you can see, it's a lot more slowed down and a lot more my style, which I'm not used to that. But Fight This War is it's actually pretty simple once you get it down. Like I say that I was bitching about it, with that part, but it's actually really easy. Once you get the groove and once you get the mix, like how it goes, it's actually very easy. Can you do the solo from Dancing with Myself? I don't even know the song. And I don't want to get copyright hit, so I just like the video. It's my Cubby's Hell Dread. The My Little Pony theme song. If this is an indicator, hang on. Oh, this is in a different tuning, so that makes it even more tricky. Yeah. If that's an indication, yes. But I don't want to get copyright hits. Like I'm on a totally different tuning, so let's see if I can. So that's a C, D. There we go. So it's like a D, slides into. I don't even know what the hell that'd be. Like, that's not E, is it? It's one form of an E. E flat or E something. See, this is how well I know music theory. It's just like I'm in drop C right now. So there you go. I'm not in standard. Let's see. So that would be. Oh, now I'm stuck. So let's see. That's a C right there. See, I'm using the alphabet here. C. So that'd be a B. So this is like a B flat or B sharp, and that's like B something. I don't know. I'm not a chord expert, but that's mainly the chords that it revolves around. It's like a. And that's also in there. Is that G? Yep. Hey Sparrow, here's another dilemma for you. You get to live in Equestria, but you have to live in a rundown old RV that has a leaky roof and no bathroom. Would you take the dilemma? No, I'm happy with the life I've got. But basically, when I was learning guitar, I was never really taught music theory. I was mainly taught just how to play. I was taught a few chords, like I know some chords like G, D, if I can find it. Is that D? Yeah, that's D. E, C, what are the other ones? F, let me think about that. C, D, E, F, something like that. Not to mention, it's such a fast-paced solo. Getting it up to speed was the toughest part. Like, getting it completely up to speed and playing along with a metronome was really tough. Like, if the song was playing in the background, I probably couldn't play it because I get nervous. And the one rule I have to remember is that I have to hit that note with my second finger and third finger, otherwise it's not going to work. It's going to be completely off timing. That was the issue that I had at first, was that I was completely off timing with like, what was I doing? Like I think I was doing like right there. Yeah, I was doing like a, before I got to this part. That part. It's just a matter of figuring out what sounds cool. Can you play Apples to the Core? If not, well, that's cool. I don't even know how it goes. I would really have to hear the song. But Daniel had very certain chords he liked to stick around. D is one of them. I know that for a fact. Is that here or there? Well, that's an E right there. So that's probably like E flat. Let's see. The only part of Apples to the Core that I can remember is like, we're apples forever, apples together, we're family, but so much more. You know. Nope. Nope. Sounds like it's in another different tuning. Yeah, I'd have to listen to it in order to really catch the notes. But what was the one I picked on? Oh yeah. Shit. How's it go? Whoops. Oh, yeah, it's like a. Just stay on me. I think you know. Yeah, that song. Thanks to Prince Whatever for that one, because that one's actually his interpretation of the song. Like the Razzle Dazzle Glisten Glam part goes like something like that. But the main chords are like something like that. How about this, Lemon? You become a professional rock star. I don't want to become a professional rock star. I've already stated that before. I do not want to become a professional rock star. That's just not something that I want. Don't mind me. I'm just being random. Just that's mainly how I come up with riffs. Sometimes I just like do. I just like just do something random. It's like I came up with this little how'd it go? How'd it go? It's like that. Nope. Nope. It's like a. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Like the majority of the playing is basically Prince Whatever influence, like Breaking Bonds. Again, sounds impossible, but it's actually possible. It sounded impossible at one point, but it actually is not that impossible. It's actually really easy. You just gotta play along with the metronome and really just get the rhythm down. A lot of chugging involved, I'll just say that. How about the Rainbow Factory? As long as it's not copyrighted. I do know that one. I mostly know Pegasus device. Okay, it's like something like that. Let's see. That's a the solo is like a. Gotta think here. There it is. There it is. I just haven't played that one in a long time. Fun stuff. Awoken I never really got into. I learned the chords at one point, but let's see. It's higher. I know that for a fact. So there's the Rainbow Factory and Pegasus Device, technically. I know that Awoken's in a higher key. It's like a... I don't know what. It's like really high. But... yeah, that's a pretty simple solo. Like, here, I'll show you how simple it is. It's actually really easy. There's more to it, I know, but... like, this is just in drop C. It's basically a... and you just play it over and over again. Pretty simplistic. Pretty simplistic, actually. Not that tough. Like I said, Rainbow Factory. I was going... here's something that I was going to do for Halloween, but then my flash drive just said, no, dude, you ain't going to do shit. I was going to do a cover of... what's the name of the song? Pegasus Device, which is... I remember the note patterns. Let's see. Let me think for a minute. Yeah, it's something like that. You know, that's the main part. In the pages of history, like a shadow in a mystery. The long story very far away till it once again is the light again. You know, that part's pretty simplistic. I keep saying simplistic a lot. It's easy to me, but yeah, it's all about just learning, literally. God. It's really good. Narrating Awoken. I didn't know Awoken was... oh, that one. No, Scribbler did a fantastic job with it already. I'm not going to steal her thunder. That's one thing I have respect for, is people who have done better rings that I know I can't better. So there you go. Let's see. Damn, you know, you should make a musical, you know, like... what the f... I hug you... okay. In his musical without the animation but voices and your music. I am no mixer and I am no professional musician whatsoever. It may look professional to you guys, but it's actually real easy. Also, since I didn't show that soul earlier, what's the one? Oh yeah, mine. Here, I'll show it to you guys. Wow, that was shit. I don't know. Fucking Christ. But there we go. Close enough. The trickiest part is that 1, 2, 3 pattern. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's all picked, which makes it even tougher. So it's like da 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 da. Most guitar players would just do this kind of thing, like da 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 da. Like they would just hammer on and pull off pretty easily. But I'm different. Oh, flash drive issues. I have one of those. I had those recently. I lost a ton of work. It can get one bummed out to lose stuff. I can relate. Yeah, it ain't fun. But I didn't. The flash drive isn't bad. I'm using it right now. I don't know what happened. It just cheated. I don't know what the crap happened, but it just did not want to be nice to me. I pulled it out of my computer, and basically it said, I'm going to destroy everything on the flash drive. And it did. So I had to re-get my my sound effects off my other computer that I have. It's right behind this one. But yeah, make backups because you never flipping know. You know what I always wanted to do? Voice acting for something. Don't know how good I'll do though. It's all about just getting yourself out there and giving it a shot. Trust me, I never thought in a million years I would be making narration on YouTube. Never in a million years. But it's just a matter of trying. Just trying. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's no big deal. I can always get... I've got the majority of my sound effects in one file, so it's no big deal. Just a little annoying, but I can always go get old sound effects that were on another file that got deleted on easily. And luckily, I've got my my MLP sound effects one on my other computer. Otherwise, pony sound effects wouldn't be happening. Like, I mean, as far as like the Magicara, the hooves, and all that shit. But you know, you're looking at me as a guitarist for how long has it been now? Let's see. What's 8 minus 6? 18 years. I've been a guitarist for, let me count that one more time. Yeah, I have been a guitarist for 18 years. So, and I'm just recently getting into like, you know, this kind of stuff, like lead stuff. And what you saw there, that's just a tap. It's no big deal. It's like, you know, anybody can do it. Basically, you bend a note, then on an upper fret, you just release it. Just hit another note, and there you go. Some of the simplest stuff can be so intimidating to so many people. It's like that one part in the Fight This War solo. It's just a matter of getting that whole thing down. God damn it. God. It may look hard, but it's actually not. It's actually really easy. Hey, Sparrow, would you ever drink whatever the fuck that is? I have no idea. I learned the hard way. Yep. I lost my first hard drive, and we're talking about a hard drive that goes in a computer, not a solid state drive. I lost my first hard drive when I was just barely starting out. I was still reacting. I wasn't even narrating, I don't think, at that time. No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't. I wasn't narrating yet, thank God. But I was reacting to something Sweet to Bite, hence why that reaction series never got finished. So that's just a case of, you know, hardware failure. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just something that comes with computers. But I mean, if I can give anybody a tip, if you want to become a guitar player, you gotta have a lot of patience. You gotta have a lot of perseverance. You just basically gotta have the will to play and take care of your instrument. This thing needs cleaned bad, and I need to get new strings because my hands are starting to slip very easily off the strings. When when your strings get slippery, that's a sign that your strings are getting wore. I mean, they create a lot of sound now, but I mean, I have to hit them absolutely hard in order to do that. Like if I just barely tap them, see? But basically, you just gotta have the will to treat your guitar like it's your baby, basically. And this is my baby. I mean, it's a $200 thing, but I have made this $200 thing into a beast, pretty much. It can tune all the way down to drop A, and that's like Slipknot shit going on. I did learn one riff recently. I can't play all of it because I will get copyright hit. So I'm going to only play like one part of it. Let's see if anybody can get it. There. YouTube, you can't strike me. Fuck you. That's basically one that I picked up on. Well, I wanted to learn it when I was kind of still new to drop tunings. And so I didn't understand what a drop tuning was. And I was like, I am never going to learn this in a million years. Because it was like, bar chords dropping down to these kinds of chords with like power chords with like 3 fingers. I can do it with only 2 because it may look like I'm using like 4 fingers, but I'm not. I'm only using these 2. My pinky has gained enough finger strength to basically play it. So I don't need to even use my 3 fingers. Unless I'm doing something like, an articulation, like something like that. I don't really do that. That's why whenever you see me play like any like power chords or anything like that, it looks like that. I've just learned how to really develop my pinky to where it's strong enough to play all of the notes. It's just a matter of practice and getting those fingers nice and strong. Because the main thing that causes guitar players to quit immediately is that feeling on the end of your fingers. Like the guitar strings are steel. They are not, pretty. Your skin is playing right against steel strings. So it's gonna hurt like a bee, but whatever. Gotta get past the pain. That's why my guitar teacher taught me how to play chords using all 4 of my fingers. Like that's the kind of chords I was learning how to play at first. I mean, it sounds like shit now, but that's not standard. But basically, that is how I started to learn. And he did it very smartly because I'm using all 4 of my fingers rather than just 2 or 3 or, what I don't want to be using. You want to be, you don't want to learn like bar chords off jump because all you're going to be using is 1 finger. So when you have to play something like a progression of notes, you're going to be using more than just 1 finger. It's going to hurt like a crap load, but yeah, you just got to get your fingers nice and built, and don't worry if there's it looks like there's dead skin coming off the end of your fingers. That's called calluses, and it's what makes your fingers basically get past the pain. Your fingers basically become so numb that it doesn't hurt anymore. The pinky is the one that is always going to hurt the most because it's the one you use less, unless you're using bar chords all the time, or not bar chords, excuse me, unless you're using a 3-finger power chords, which is a good thing to do if you don't want your pinky to go out of use. You can even add your 2nd finger in there to make it minor. What's a good amp to order? Amplifiers I'm not really attuned with on what is good and what is not. Me, I just have a simple little Ibanez, and to me, I think it sounds fine. It's fine to me. Could use a little bit more reverb if you ask me, but it's just a raw amp with the guitar cord plugged in and straight into it goes. How do you know what kind I have? It says it right on the guitar. Or excuse me, the amplifier. The the main, I mean, it all depends on your level of skill as well, because you don't want to buy like a very expensive amp if you're going to just start playing guitar, because the majority quit. I can tell you that right now. So before you even think about getting an expensive guitar, tell yourself, can I do this? Am I really committed to, spending the rest of my life with this thing as if it's like my child? That's how you really got to look at it. It's a lifelong relationship. I mean, I do what kind of, well, nowadays there's all sorts of different amps. There's tube amps, there's regular amps like I've got. Like, I don't really know the specs on, a good amplifier. I mean, the best ones out there are probably PRS, but those are not cheap. And I am not shitting you one bit. Like, when I say expensive, I say expensive. They are not cheap at all. Even guitar strings aren't cheap. And I use Ernie Balls, which is actually a good brand. But that's what I use. I use Ernie Balls. These strings have lasted me quite a while. Last time I got my strings changed was, Jesus. I think it was like 2 years ago. See, because I'm not like these, these rock stars that are constantly changing their strings because they're playing playing that hard on their strings and putting so much pressure on them, using whammy bars and all that shit. No, I play like maybe, as far as a chord or maybe even a bar chord or something as simple as that. My strings are very good at holding. I'm not beating the crap out of my strings at all. I'm actually being very gentle, just barely even brushing it with the tip of my pick. Is it a TSA 15H? I have no fucking clue. My guitar amp, I got it a long time ago for my birthday. I don't even remember when the hell I got it. I've had it forever. I mean, it's just an amp. It's just something that somebody can plug in and play on. That's literally what this amp is. It's not meant to be anything fancy by any means. And you don't need fancy in order to sound amazing. It's like what I say with narration. You don't need a fancy setup in order to sound professional. You can have, like, okay, what I use is I use a pillow in front of me because the desk that I have out has a solid surface, so noise would reflect. I have that, a pop filter. I use a sock as an additional pop filter for my microphone. The thing that I have around me, I got by freaking luck. I mean, it's what my niece used for her homeschooling, but she didn't need it anymore. So it works as like a sound wave barrier, because how sound travels is I'm speaking forward where there's an opening out in front of this thing. So it's going to reflect off the wall in front of me and come back. Like, you got to think of sound waves as just basically like anything that bounces off of a wall. If it goes out in front of you, where's it going to bounce to? It's going to go back, right? That's exactly what happens. And the sound is going to just continuously bounce. So by killing it with this this fabric, it basically stops the echo. I was fortunate to get this. As long as you just have a really clean, well, not clean environment. Take that back. You actually, if you are in like a room that's like heavily cluttered with lots of stuff, be grateful, because that actually saves you a lot. The more cluttered your room is, the more the sound waves cannot reflect. They only reflect off of solid surfaces, so like boxes or anything can stop. It also depends on your recording setup. You need a mic arm in order to really, master that mic to its full potential. Me, I've got my chair, I've got my pop filter, I've got my computer, and I just let's see. When I record, I'm about right here. So I would say I'm not even 3, 6, a little over a foot from the mic. But that's because my gain is set at like, I would say it's about 65%. Or on a clock, that would read about 2 to 3 o'clock. Like if you look at your knob, this is only if you have an XLR mic. If you look at your knob and you see it as a clock, my thing is set at 3 a.m. You want it to where your signature light is catching you, because otherwise with monitoring headphones, you can't even hear yourself. That was the first thing that I noticed when I got my monitoring headphones. I put them on and immediately I couldn't hear myself until I started turning up the gain knob. Monitoring headphones help a lot. And what these headphones cost me? $54. They work, and yeah, they come from Audio Technica. The only thing that's really not uncomfortable about them is if you sit with them on your head for a little long. If you are sitting there for a long time, it gets sweaty, it gets kind of uncomfortable. But once it conforms to your head and really, gets there to where, you feel comfortable, then things are going to be a little better. Like, it's taken me a while to get used to these, but I'm used to it now. Most important rule. I did this while covering Breaking Bonds. This was a humongous mistake, and I could have raped people's ears with this shit. Always make sure when you're recording your music to never, when you're listening to it normally, have direct monitoring on, because when direct monitoring is on, what happens is sound in the foreground of whatever you're listening to through the headphones is suppressed by a lot. Like, it's not suppressed entirely, but it's suppressed to where it's not killing your eardrums. That can be problematic, because if you have direct monitoring on, you're not hearing it to your fullest extent. So when I got done with Breaking Bonds and was listening to it as the final product, I had direct monitoring on, which is not good, because my subscribers would have been like, dude, you're killing our fucking ears, man. I mean, that's a rookie mistake right there, but I'm still new to this, okay? But other than that, all you need, this mic cost me like $100. My audio interface cost me about $70. The mic arm came with it. Well, the mic pop filter cord, the mic cord, XLR cable. What am I missing? The pop filter, the mic arm, the mic, and the cord all came in a bundle for $108. Like, that's nuts. You're paying $100 for your guitar. You're paying $100 for the mic on its own, but to get the mic arm and all that stuff that you need to even get started for only an extra $8, that's fucking amazing. I feel like I'm missing something though. The headphones I didn't get with them. I had to order those separately. They were $54, but it doesn't. But it's perfect for what I need. Like, if you're ever going to be doing studio quality stuff, you're gonna be in a studio, basically. YouTube isn't studio quality stuff. It's just people working on simple stuff working on quality stuff. I'll say that. Quality stuff, high quality stuff, to potentially make a career. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just making pony stuff, slowly working on getting out of that. I went to the link from your uploading video and Dill is no longer available. It may be available in the future. Remember, the elephant in the room is going on right now. It may be out of stock. You can find other deals with different interfaces and all that shit. But you want to make sure you get the cable. You want the cable. XLR cables are not cheap. I'm going to tell you that right now. Cheapest you could probably find one is $15 to $20. And it all depends on, the brand and what, there is a difference in between cords. Like what an XLR cable will catch is audio like interference, like video, like audio feedback, or like something that is within the sound waves that shouldn't be there. It's negative feedback. This would happen if I put some like electrical device towards my of high quality. All I need is something I can plug into an interface and make my mic work. Audio interfaces also range in price. I would go with something at least over $100. I wouldn't go with something cheap. Honestly, I would not. The Audio Technica 2020 I will recommend to anybody. It's an amazing microphone. It's heavily built. It's great at what it does, and it's got a fantastic sound. It all depends on your voice. Like the mic is designed to basically take any voice, but when you get up there and you really start experimenting with a lot of stuff on in audio, like I recently diddled with equalization. Equalization will save or break your audio. I will say that for a fact. Getting a good EQ is amazing because, excuse me, what you're hearing right now is pre-EQ. My voice isn't as boomy. My voice doesn't sound as, clear and all that shit. EQ can add a boost to your voice to make you sound, studio quality if you want to go that far. The Audio Technica 2020 is not necessarily a studio microphone, but it's a damn good microphone. Even pros use it. Yeah, there's an implication right there. That's a damn good mic. Pros use it. Like the majority will be using like the Shure SM7B now, but that is how much does that mic go for? Like $400 or something like that, $400 to $500. You don't need something like that if you're just a YouTuber. If you're just a YouTuber getting your start, you don't want to invest in something huge. Even the AT 2020 might be a little too far. Me, I started out on a fucking microphone that sucked. It was a headset microphone, but it flipping made sound. That's all I cared about. The quality was horrible. My editing sucked. Yeah. Then I upgraded to the Blue Snowball. It's not bad. I'll say that. It's a good microphone for what it is, but it's not, an XLR mic. Like the pros that you get with XLR are a lot of things. Like here, since I'm not playing guitar, I'll just bring my head back into place. You're to see the screen as well. But basically, if you're just doing stuff on YouTube, maybe a Blue Yeti or a Blue Snowball, it doesn't really matter. I've seen people using AT 2020s. I've seen not the XLR version, but the USB version. The USB version sounds horrible. I'll just say that. Because my friend Reborn, she uses the AT 2020 USB microphone. It's not a bad mic, but her recording environment was, oh my God, so hard to edit around. Because I had to do the editing for her audio. Sorry, and Reborn, if you ever see this stream, I'm sorry, but I'm just giving some constructive criticism here based on what I had to do. When I got her audio, oh my God, I was about ready to lose my mind. Background noise, crazy. Reverberation was my biggest problem. Like the echoing off the walls. Oh my God, I was about ready to lose my mind. I had to edit her audio for the Splendor Man because we technically both narrated it because she like narrates as the main character's point of view, but yet I voiced the character. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. But then again, it was released on April Fool's Day. So what's the fun in making sense, as Discord would say? But other than that, if it makes sound, it works. My friend Cloud9, the Life on Cloud9, she started on a fucking iPhone. So there you go. That's where some people start and grow. I mean, if you're on a Blue Yeti or a Blue Snowball, you're in a good place. Now you just need to do some experimentation, see if it's going to succeed. If it's going to succeed, then yay. But with that comes upgrading. But here's the big question that I even asked myself when I was getting the A2 2020. Is it really, time to upgrade? Like, is it time for me to upgrade to something big? You have to ask yourself that question. And basically, the only time you should really upgrade is, well, if something breaks, or two, if you're ready. Like, if you're ready to up your sound, if you're ready to, get your sound better, make it, more professional sounding, and you feel like you're ready for that kind of a tackle or that kind of a challenge, yeah, then you're ready. That's basically what you just got to ask yourself. Am I ready to really, take this jump? Am I really ready to, go from this $50 mic to this $100 mic and this, totally new setup? Am I set for that? That's the things you got to ask. Those are the questions that you just got to ask yourself. And if you think you've got it, then go for it. I mean, slowly but surely, I've learned that, XLR mics, okay, here's the thing. If you're in a cluttered room like I am, you're in a pretty good spot. This is just an addition to stopping the reverberation. Because if you didn't know, the first chapter of I'm Sorry, Twilight was actually recorded without the this thingy. And the mic was actually pointed right here. You can't hear me now because we're at the back side of the microphone and the front part's where it catches your voice. But the mic was like right here, and I was like this. So there you go. Also, if you ever want to make a muffled sound, there you go. There's your way. See, now that I'm back in front of the microphone, you can hear my voice really well. And that's another thing you really gotta, whenever you get a new mic or anything like that, you've got to do a lot of experimentation. Like, one thing that really bugs me about streaming with this mic is the fact that I know I'm killing your guys' eardrums, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. That's not my fault. That's my computer's fault. Because basically, the sound levels of this are not like fixable. So every time I go into Audacity, if I've been like doing stream before, it'll be at like 80 to 90%, which is terrible, to say the least. Unless you're one of those people that can handle like those high frequencies in your ears, like the freaking YouTube, Premiere music. I have to turn my direct monitoring on just so I avoid the piercing of that fucking music. Those high frequencies, turn it down, YouTube. It's like I said, I've said a million times, you do not need a professional setup to be professional. You just gotta have passion in your work, and you gotta have something that makes sound and editing skills. And I'll tell you what, the editing skills that I started with, they were bad. Terrible, horrible, cringeworthy. My idea of editing back then was take out the mistakes and done. Put like a loop track as background noise, and there you go. Not nowadays. That's not how the editing process goes anymore at all. But the easiest thing probably to avoid is plosives or pops. Like, the P's, the T's, the dot, those kind of things. Basically, the best way to avoid that, if you don't have a pop filter, is a sock. 2 socks even might be good, but make sure they're not heavy, like, cloth or anything like that. Like, if they're very thick, then they're going to muffle your voice, which is good for like if you're making like a sound like somebody's talking outside of a door or something like that. That's fine. But for the sake of like a pop filter, you don't want something that's going to muffle your voice at all. You want to basically get something that's very thin, but it's also got like a thickness in the fabric, but not enough to where it muffles your voice. The best way to test that is to just listen to yourself. That's why I recommend these kind of headphones, which I'll show you right now. Gonna not hear myself for a minute, but okay. See this? This is what goes into the audio interface. And watch this. Boop. That can go into a 3.5 millimeter jack, which is something that you see on like a phone or anything like that. This is more of something like you see on an amplifier, which is a big, whatchamacallit head. But that's what this comes with. Whoops. That's what this comes with. You just need to be very, very, very careful on the, the cord. Because the cord is not replaceable. I can't take this out. That's what you need. My dad's phone's ringing, apparently. But, oh, it's hot. Let me put this away real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, let me get out of this cubicle. Oh my god, you need cleaned. Bad. Maybe that's what I should spend my money on next. Oh my god, my hair. Quarantine hair, I gotta love it. Well, it's not technically quarantine hair yet. Meanwhile, I used a handkerchief wrapped around the mic. Handkerchief is a good one. As long as it's not suffocating the mic, that's good. Like, it has to have some sort of resistance. Like, it can't be like against the diaphragm. It has to have some resilience. Because the point of a pop filter is, if you don't know what pop filters are made out of, they're made out of pantyhose. Like, that's exactly what they're made out of. They're made out of like a fabric that there's two layers of it. One on this side, one on this side and one on this side. There's two layers of fabric. They're pantyhose, basically. And they're lined in a pattern for a reason. Because the air that causes a plosive is a giant, like a gust. So what causes the pop sound is when that air hits that diaphragm, because the diaphragm is what, if you don't know what the diaphragm is, that's basically what you talk into, and it converts it into sound waves on your computer. That's what the diaphragm of your microphone is. So when all that air hits and it can't transmit all of that into like a smooth audio, it just comes out as like an explosion, like a bass boost. That's basically exactly what a plosive is. So this is designed to cut that giant gust of air into like pieces. To one part and out the other side, it cuts it into like fabrics. And with the sock enabled, that also adds a layer of protection. Not to make that sexual at all, but brain, you'll grow up someday. No, it won't. But basically, the sock adds another layer of protection. So that goes through, then it has to go through the sock. And the sock is not necessarily made out of like, anything heavy. It's actually a very, very, like a very thin fabric, but it's enough to kill those plosives down to where they're not getting into the mic. Another thing that is essential is the angle that I have my mic at, the position. My bad. The position I have my mic at right now, is what they call the off-axis routine. If you've ever watched a mic review video and you've seen like the guy with like the mic right here next to his mouth, like my hand's the mic, and it's pointed like not at him but away from him, that is called the off-axis position. And it's called the off-axis position because, well, the mic is off-axis with your mouth. The diaphragm of the mic, my bad. The diaphragm of the mic is not on axis with the right in front of you. It's actually right off to the side. So how does this work? Well, XLR mics are strong. And basically where you want the diaphragm to be pointing is at the corner of your mouth. Because I'll demonstrate it right now. Let me do this. Let me just put I'm going to probably kill your guys' eardrums. But here's right in front of the microphone. Like, hang on. I got to reconfigure things. Oh, I know what I got to do. Oops. You know, I just do it the easy way. Fuck it. Sorry. Sorry about ringing your ears, guys. I don't mean to. Okay, let's see. Drop you down just a teensy bit. But, okay, here's me right in front of the microphone with the pop filter on. And then I'm going to turn my head away from the mic and sit back a little bit. And have you noticed a difference in any sort of sound? Sure, it sounds a little bit more straight right here, but off to the side, it doesn't sound any different because it's still catching the audio right off to the side. The diaphragm on an XLR mic is really powerful. Like, it can catch you very well, especially when your gain is as high as mine is. But that's basically what I'm saying. If it's pointed at the corner of your mouth, not only that, not only does it stop plosives, it also gets this giant black thing out of your way. It helps with script exponentially because I can sit here like this and read. Well, I wouldn't be positioned like that. I'd be more like this, like, you know, not slouched. I would be, you know, with my back straight, so I have good air capacity. Yeah, just looking forward at my script and just the mic's catching me good. I've heard some experimentations with it. Like, okay, this doesn't stop plosives automatically. All it does is works as to get rid of every single little plosive that gets in the way. It will still catch, especially if you're someone like, oh, I don't know, Ilya, who has a very bassy voice. It will still catch the frequencies, which can cause plosives to still show in the audio waves. I mean, it's catching the corner of your mouth and the air is going past. Sometimes it's not air that causes the plosives. Sometimes just the frequencies of your voice, which mine is basically within the mid-range. Highs are what they call treble, which is more of a female-based voice, and bass is more chest voice, which is where you have your deep frequencies and your deepest shit, you know, sounding voice. That, like, people get really confused when they hear the term high and low in frequencies. Lows are bass, high is treble. Right, my voice is right there in the middle, in between, like just right in between the happy medium. Like, or I can go low if I want to, and I can go super high if I want to. Like, if I want, like, learning how to use your voice essentially is also a big thing that can help in audio productions. If you want a good explanation, just watch any like vocal coach. Watch like those reaction videos where they're like trying to figure out on how someone is pulling off a voice or like a certain singing technique. Like the main ones that I watch are the metal ones, because metal has a lot of like lyrical like techniques, especially when it comes to like the metal screams that you hear, which is actually just like a natural like distortion created by your voice, which is cracks in your voice. That's natural distortion. An error which creates kind of that sound. You know, it's not, well, how the guy put it that I watched, it's not Cookie Monster, like, give me your cookies. You know, it's not like that. That's, oh, that hurts. But I apologize. But basically, the point of it is just to learn how your voice works. And this has helped a lot for me to be able to do certain voice tones. Like, I've learned that there's the nasal cavity, which can give you some high, annoying kind of sounding voices. Like when Markiplier screams. Not exactly. Mark's more like, ah! Like, he's more like, you know, just the frequencies going back and forth. It's a natural scream. But, man, I'm not trying to kill your guys' eardrums, but whatever. Definitely difference between your new narrations and narrations of oh geez, yeah, that was Edgelord Sparrow that spoke like this. It's like I was listening to an old as shit one day, and I have noticed that my voice has changed a lot over the years. Like, it used to kind of be more down here in this kind of a tone, and now it's gotten more deep. It's become much more adult sounding rather than kid. Like, the change has just been drastic. But I don't sound like an old dying man anymore. I actually sound like me. Thank God for Luna, Pharaoh, and Sparrow, Scribbler. Excuse me. Definitely. Okay. Yeah, it's basically a matter of learning your voice and how it works. Like bass, like just kind of think of your head to your chest kind of as a meter. The high being the high end being up here and the low end being down here. Bass is chest. All chest. All chest is bass. Like whenever I do a deep, raspy voice, I'm using my chest voice. So if I want to do a very evil villain that has a deep and raspy tone to his voice, I can do that. And most of the vibrations are coming from down here in this voice. Like that's more mid-range than it is actually down here in this kind of a voice where I can feel the vibrations all right here, right at the edge of my chest. It used to sound like Stephen King in a way. I wouldn't say that. I don't sound like King. Oh God, no. Religious Pony was a mistake. I was actually really hurting my voice with that character. I can't even do him. It actually hurts to actually do him. Like he's more raspy and kind of down here in this kind of a tone, and it hurts like crazy. He's on me now. Like it's more of a compression kind of sound. Like it's compressing and add rasp. Like it's weird how I did that voice, and just adding like a Australian kind of accent to it. I guess I don't know. That is a voice I will never go back to. Same thing with Edgelord Sparrow, which was 2016 to 2018. Well, late 2018 technically, because what was the first story that I actually used my natural voice on? Oh God, was it a Lyra song? No, it was one before that. I'm trying to remember. Oh jeez. It was okay. So it was right before October because I remember Month of Macabre was already completed and I had everything set up because in the Month of Macabre of 2018, minus the Lyra song, I had basically that same old freaking Edgelord Sparrow sound. Fujifilm. Was it a Motherly Princess? I don't think so. No, I didn't know Cloud at the time. Fujifilm. God damn it. I can't remember what was the goddamn first reading with my natural voice. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was a more safe for work one for sure, because I remember experimenting around. See, there was Ray's Collection. That was August. September. Yeah, I can't remember. But a Lyra song was where I was starting to come out of Edgelord Sparrow into my natural voice. It was hard to get out of that rhythm, but once I got it, I got it. And technically, Reborn was also a place where I was using my natural voice because I was basically narrating a Skulu, which was my natural voice. So that was actually the first case of where I actually was using my natural voice. The other times were just, I don't know, me trying to be lost, I guess. Oh, the good old days. Not the much good old days. I still can't believe those freaking videos get views. I mean, I'm shocked how many views those have gotten. Eyes Don't Lie was that. Wow, you actually know what the fuck that is. I'm really shocked. Eyes Don't Lie was more me just trying to be a insane person, I guess. I don't know. It was voice acting. I can't even remember how the story goes. Counting the numbers on the wall. You know, something like that. I don't remember. That's voice acting technically. Absentia is nasally. Absentia was actually a modulated voice. It was actually a pitch up because I couldn't get that natural like I couldn't get a feminine tone out of my voice. Because I didn't really know how to use my head voice. Which head voice, like, let's go back to that meter. Low voice sounds male. High voice sounds female. Which is up here in your head. Or like when you feel you're in your head voice is when you feel like vibrations in your mouth or your nose or like up here in your skull. That's you using your upper part of your throat basically to make that female voice. I mean, I get people like find my old tone very, scary and kind of like grim almost. but it's not natural. It just hurt a lot. I remember when I first read Lomas Rarity aloud, I read the whole thing. Oh my God. I read the whole thing all the way through. And afterwards, my voice was just saying, dude, fuck off. Like, literally, it was that case. Let's see. Yeah, my old work. I really wish I could just go back and redo some things, especially with the Bittersweet Apple Lakers Redux. I really, really wish I could go back and fix that, but it is what it is. Like I think I already have an idea for Halloween next year, but I don't know. That's kind of a iffy kind of thing. I don't know. I'll have to look at my past to stability, because I look at some of my older stuff and I'm like, I could redo this and make it so much better. It's like I was listening to Countess Rose's reading of The Well, which I read back in 2016. That one can be made so much better. I just know it can. Like, the voice actors didn't do a bad job at all. It was just me. It was just me. Me and my editing skills. Ugh. Like Silent Ponyville, between Silent Ponyville and kind of sort of the Halloween special, and the up and coming one in November, between those, I've really learned how to play around with the reverb sound effect. Well, effect technically. It actually helps to make a lot better of a sound for like reflections in a room. Well, sound reflections technically, echoes. And the one that I'm doing for October, or excuse me, November, I feel so bad for this story, because this story came out around the time of Cupcakes, Rainbow Factory, yada da da, the granddaddies of the freaking fandom. But this one didn't get as much attention, and it really bugs me that it didn't, because it's actually a really, really good story. Like, this was as if a hell of information actually happened, only it's before a health of information. And in a different case of like the swamp fever being like, what it was. I really liked the concept of this story, and I really liked how its pacing was really good. Like, it kept the mystery aspect completely hidden the majority of the time. It's like a story that when you're listening to it, you have to go along and you kind of have to piece everything together. And that's the stories I like. I like the mystery aspects of it, and I really like how it's just good. I saw someone comment something about conflicts between Dusk and Twilight. I need to go up. I need to go up. Thank you. Creativity is more important than equipment. Wow, I ignored you guys a lot. Sorry. When I get on a run, I get on a run. Okay. Oh, the label sticker must be worn off. Man, I can't wait for the conflicts between Dusk and Twilight. Trust me, that name was not easy to come up with. It was actually really tough. Creativity is more important than equipment. It's what you do with the stuff that you got, and you do just fine. Exactly. Back to what Philippe said. That is absolutely true. It's all in the person who's using the equipment, whether or not they can make it sound studio quality, or if they can make it sound like shit. I mean, when I first got this mic, just hearing it raw was amazing. Like, the sound suppression that it does is amazing. Like, I am so shocked at how compressed the sound is around its environment. Not only that, the what do you call these things? Pop filter adds for some noise suppression too. So if I have like a high gain setting, this really takes away the majority of it. So let's see. So if I move it out of the way, I can already tell I'm louder. Basically, it's louder, and this really tones down a lot of the sound. So just put that back. Honestly, it doesn't matter where it's located because I do the off-axis thing, so I'm not really pointing it directly at the microphone. But basically, yeah, the person who has the equipment has to make the sound. So the amount of effort and experimentation that you put into it, that's basically how it works. I'm looking into getting a pair of cheap but good headphones. What do you suggest? My beats are done for. Well, if you're getting into narration, monitoring headphones are a must. I'm sorry, but it is. Unless you're just starting out, then it's not really a need because monitoring headphones can only go into a 3.5 millimeter jack, which is your phone or like some sort of device. An audio interface and all that, you need big stuff. It would work for a Blue Yeti. A Blue Yeti would be a perfect example. Because I know Blue Yetis only have a 3.5 meter jack on the bottom, which helps to do the monitoring thing. But I've heard there's problems with that, especially in the case of my friend Viola Rule. She says that the monitoring is off by a little bit. Like the synchronization between your voice and the mic catching it in time is off by just like maybe a millisecond or something like that. You don't want that. Trust me. It sounds like you're echoing yourself, which is it's not good. Well, it's definitely up, and I spent a lot of money on my Dyson desk fan. Those are the sacrifices you gotta make as a narrator. You gotta, narrator, voice actor, whatever requires the mic. You gotta work in a hot environment sometimes. It gets really hot in this thing, but nowhere near as hot as it did in my old setup, which was under a blanket. You want to talk hot? Yeah, very hot. Let's see. My cousin live streams on his vlog channel from an iPhone. iPhones have gotten advanced enough to where you can do that, though. That's the thing. When you're starting out on something like an iPhone 4 or like lower, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Okay, I think I'm caught up to this point. Yep. Ouch. I'm still waiting to think of what could have been in the well. The author never really specified anything. I remember for a fact it was based off a dream, like a nightmare that he had, where he was Applejack. Other than that, I mean, the main reference that I can think of is the ring with Samara because of the well. I mean, duh. It could fall under a 2, Pennywise, because of the well house. What is up with horror and wells? I swear. But I'm still experimenting with this mic. I'm still experimenting with the sound. I put a new EQ on in the most recent little short story that I did. I think you guys can tell a humongous difference in comparison to what's in Psychosis. Psychosis was even before the new EQ was added. That was before this one. Basically, I took the lows and I raised them just a tad and left the highs a little lower, so that, well, not lower, but where they were. I left them lower than the bass because I want my voice to like, I want the deepness of my voice to pop, while the low frequencies don't kill your ears. Because the low frequencies, if you make something like or something like that, yeah, those can come out very sharp and very annoying. So you want to be careful. And so if you've got stuff that's making like the sound of like a water tap when you turn it on, yeah, edit that so that it doesn't sound like that. It's not easy to fix, but it is possible. Another thing that really helps with especially with my recording environment, is a noise gate. But noise gates are very tedious. Oh, another thing that I applied to the audio for what is it called? The crawling. Was compression. Hang on, I gotta think of the order. Compression, normalization, and yeah, I think that was it. Doing those 2 things helps to really, really make your sound pop and equalize itself. Like the process that I have to go through after recording, what I have to do is I have to go in. I noise reduct the entire thing by -12, which is the default. I get the noise profile, then I noise reject the whole thing, so the background noise isn't there necessarily. It's just low enough to where it's just it's just normal enough for me to hear myself as normal and to edit things out without clipping happening. Which there's two definitions of clipping in audio. The kind of clipping I'm talking about is if you clip something out like in the middle of like an audio wave and you put a new thing in and you hear like a little like a sound in between it. That is what's called a clip. The other clipping is basically when your audio levels are too high and they start to distort. So there you go. Jesus Christ. But it goes that, edit out the mistakes, and it really doesn't matter if I have it all in line with itself yet, because then I apply the EQ. Hang on, I gotta think. Is that it? Yeah, it is. I put the EQ on, then run compression, normalization, and then add the noise gate. Whoops. So that normally works out pretty damn well, because the noise gate, depending on how snappy you make it, you got to really be careful, because noise gates can close too soon or too early if you're not careful. You want to just get into that happy medium to where it's not making it sound like it's fading out, like where it's closing the gate. You don't want it to sound where it's like, fading out. You want it to close just at the right time. Because how noise gates works is you set them to a certain audio frequency that is the peak of where you want it to basically shut everything up that is below that frequency. Then there's the shutting, like the closing the gate frequency. I think mine is set to 469 something. I can't remember. But basically, it's set to a point right now where it shuts it at the right moments, and it doesn't, leave anything in its wake. Like, noise gates are really helpful. I rarely get bloopers anymore. My bloopers anymore are like bleh, or like fucking car, something like that. It's not really worthwhile, like, Lost bloopers where she just goes random sauce as hell. Streamlabs is being a pain, though. Never experiment with it. Do you have a Ponytown? I don't play Ponytown. I've never really been a big fan of it. I've tried it, but it's not my thing. It's RPing, basically. But the whole... the importance is just to make your audio sound good. It doesn't have to be that perfect, crisp, amazing sound that you want from the beginning, because it's not going to be off of jump. It's going to suck. I'm just telling you now, it's going to suck. But then you're going to learn, what makes, sound better. That's why I recommend listening to people like, professional narrators. Even Scribbler. Scribbler is a good example of someone who knows what the crap they're talking about. Hello, Arky. But basically, yeah, the whole thing is to just listen to what sounds good and to try and apply that to your tone. Don't copy. Just try to make your voice sound good enough, but not to where it's a pain to narrate or a pain to edit. Like, one of the things that I noticed with putting your lows too high is you get plosives like crazy. Like, there could have been a plosive then, but upping the bass gives more plosive vulnerability, because that bass is the boost, which it makes your bass go higher, which causes like boom, boom, boom. Like, it makes any sort of sound plosive immediately. So you want that fine medium in between to where the bass isn't causing plosives to occur, and you don't want your highs too high to where it's going to cause like sharp notes. And if it does, there's always post-editing to fix it. I had to recently do that for, I think that was November's reading. Yep. That's it. But that's literally just the importance of audio. But if you plan to get into it, there's a lot of editing involved. There's a lot of points where you're about ready to freaking tear your hair out. But you gotta start somewhere. Mine was just a shot in the dark. I saw Lost making stuff. I saw Scribbler making stuff. So I was like, fuck it, let's try it. For shits and giggles, let's just try it. And ta-da! Here I am. You never start out being perfect. Look at me with my writing. It was like, it's like I was trying to write ass play. Oh, a shit play, or I don't know, a something play, but failed pretty badly. That happens with any writer. Me, I'm actually naturally gifted. I have been a huge writer all my life. I've always had a vocabulary that's very bright. Even though I do come across words and stories that I'm like, what the hell? It's like one where I was just completely like, how the hell do you even say this word? Like, I don't rely on Google Translate anymore. I rely on dictionary.com. Thank you very much. Ever since freaking goddamn masochist. Fucking Christ. But the word was coalesce, or coalesced, which is basically combining. It means to combine, or like, something like that, like combining things. But yeah, coalesced. I look at this word, I'm like, what? I'm just like, what the hell is this? The majority of words that I get are words that probably seem like they are pronounced correctly, but I want to double check just to be 110% sure I'm saying the word correct. Because trust me, that can come back to haunt you. Big time. I was listening to Scribbler before I came here. Hey, pretty cool. Shows that I'm just within that range of, I'm in Scribbler, Lost, Goody, that circle of narrators. Some new names are starting to make their way into the scene too. One that I've noticed is a Zach movie fan. Shout out to you. What I call Straight to the Point Studio, really one of them. I mean, I don't know how long they've actually been YouTube. I don't know. But it's because of Scribbler I actually even know who Straight to the Point Studio is. Zach movie fan I actually came across because he was on recommended parts of, like, things that I was watching. He's good. He actually made a joke on his what was that, like his 100 subscriber special or something like that. I can't remember, but he basically called me out on something, and it was just a joke. We just played nice. I even let him know, hey, I'll take your offer. Just to troll him. See, we're all good friends. We're all good friends. As long as somebody's not a dick, we are all good friends in the circle of narrators. We don't think one is better than the other. It's like what I was telling people when I started Silent Ponyville. It was not to outdo Goody. It was not to outdo anybody. It was just my personal take on something that I'd been wanting to do for a long time. And trust me, it was not easy, especially chapter freaking 5. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's see. Dude, I listened to about 30 of your stories. I just find your voice fascinating. Well, thank you. That's really nice. You're not the first person to say that, honestly. Even though, if it's Edgelord Sparrow, oh dear God. Please listen to my more recent works to get a better description of my voice, because Edgelord Sparrow was like a dying old man. Ugh, fuck. I know I'm still not as good as Stephen King and don't expect to be, but I still try. Nobody's ever going to be as good as King is. I mean, King has had his stinkers for sure, but everybody does. Everybody has a stinker. Even I have stories that I'm not proud of. It's like now that I look back on, like, things like let's see, the survey, which is memed to fucking hell. What's the other big one? Oh, the box. Those ones I wish I could go back and rewrite. I would make them so much better. The survey was just a, hey, let's just do this because it sounds fun kind of thing. You know, that was around the time when which Unfriended was it? Was that the first one or second one? Yeah, I got the idea from Unfriended. If you've ever seen the movie, you know it's shit, but it's a pretty cool idea, honestly. But basically, I just thought of this like, haunted survey. You die if you lose. That bullshit. That cliche horror bullshit. Then just add that twist with like, Twilight being a little bit of a naughty pony. It's technically not Twilight. Then it evolved into something more, which I think I hate myself for that because now I gotta finish it. And I have no idea how I'm gonna finish this, honestly. I have an idea of how it may end, but connecting the dots and having it make sense is tough. Like even creation, that was hard to write and have everything make flippin' sense, even though some of it doesn't make sense. Now the binary code thing, I actually found out from my friend Mark that 101010, the air day of G4, also translates in binary code to 42, which is how many points on Twilight's cutie mark there are. Did freaking Hasbro do that on purpose? I don't know. But that wasn't intention, honestly. I didn't even know what the fuck binary code was. Let's see. I know this is random, but I sometimes shoot targets while listening to father scenes of Soundboyville 2. It's okay. I don't like the dad either. He's a jerk. I watched Unfriended and I could only enjoy it while pickled drunk. Yeah. Wrong. It's a cool idea, but it's just portrayed terribly. Like I really thought that Unfriended was going to be a better movie, but it just was crap. Like horrible. I don't know. It just was bad. Like it was just bad. I don't understand why it was so bad as it was. It's a simple idea. I mean, it's not that tough, people. But maybe that opens the door for actual good. What would you call that? Cybernetic horror, I guess. I'm trying to think if there's been any other like things that have done something similar. There actually has been ones that like there's one that was called Friend Request. Cliche horror movie, but not a bad horror movie. Not by any means of the word. Not by any means. It was actually a decent one. Like, I mean, you know what's gonna happen, but it's done good at least. Like Unfriended was basically a 1x1 kill off movie by basically doing some stupid shit. I mean, I don't know. Why does horror have to rely on sex to sell so badly? The trailer really made it look good. It honestly did look like a good damn movie. I haven't seen the dark web one, but I've heard it's better. I heard that it's a much better concept than whatever the hell Unfriended the first one was. It's a forgotten horror movie. Let's see. I know it's trucks. Came here from some college stress relief. Well, buckle up. The survey was one of your works I loved, and I watched that on the premiere, and I still love your old work and your new work. And I watched that on the premiere. Huh? Premiering wasn't even around at that time. All that was available was, I don't even think the horror comment was a thing yet. That was 2016. But I appreciate that you enjoyed the old work and the new work because time changes. As episode 26 put into retrospect, change happens and you can either live with it or you can let it die. Like you can let things change for the better, or you can, just forget things that don't mean much to you anymore. Like I just feel stuck in a box of like just doing strictly MLP stuff. And I'm not going to lie, this Halloween special really, really burned me out. So I'm trying to work on doing more than just Pony. I want to do more. That's why I kind of put the crawling as one of the month macabre things. You know, it's different. It's something that I wrote a long time ago that could use a redux. So yeah, it's just something that I'm working on. Like, people have suggested creepypastas, but creepypastas are really, really hard to do now because they're getting copyright kind of, that kind of stuff is getting implied into creepypasta now. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. I mean, I don't hate creepypasta, but I don't know. We'll see about it in the future. I really hate my mic quality on that one that I did. Should go back and fix it, but whatever. You should listen to the MLP story called Symbiote. It's Twilight and Venom mixed like the movie version. I'm not really a fan of those kinds of movies. I'm not really a fan of those kinds of things. Like, I'm not really a fan of, how do you put this? Like, ponifying a franchise. Like, some do things like a Nightmare on Elm Street, like Pony version. I am not a fan of those stories because I know exactly what's going to happen. I already know the whole story. I already know what's going to happen. It's stupid and it's pointless. So I prefer originality over anything else, honestly. Smiley was another... Smiley? Smile Dog, you mean? JPEG? Was another one that I couldn't enjoy being sober. Oh, Smiley? Huh? I don't know. Elsewhere, I got an MLP fact that you might not know. There's a WWE superstar that likes MLP. Can you guess who that is? I'm not a WWE fan, so I'm just going to guess Steve Austin or The Undertaker. I don't know. It's only two that I really know. Even I'm losing 11 inspiration for the life of that fucking name. Wayona? I have no idea. Oh god, Bears Without the Lakers. That one was pretty unsettling to me. Yeah, that was the intention. Like, people have asked me to like redux ones like Reborn or Unmarked. I'm like, there is no flipping way. No flipping way. But let's just say that this year for Halloween, I got really, really professional. Like, I really wish that I could have paid these people, but I just don't have the income. But they volunteered and they delivered. That's all I can say. Like, the voice acting, oh boy, I was getting chills. I'll just say this: don't expect conflicts between Dusk and Twilight to be scary. Don't expect it to be like scary. Expect it to be more like, along the lines of a Labyrinth song, like disturbing. It's more disturbing than it is actually scary. It's mysterious as well. Like, Unmarked had horror vibes to it, with like a freaking Annie being just the biggest antagonist and having multiple forms, just like the devil. But basically, don't look at it like, a horror story. It's still a grimdark, don't get me wrong. But a grimdark doesn't have to be a horror story in order to be grimdark. I'm just going to say that. It's like one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Saw. That is a grimdark freaking movie. I am sorry, but it is. That ending where Adam basically gets told that the key was in the bathtub, that he had no way of stopping from going down the drain because of Amanda. You don't find that until the third goddamn movie. Yeah, it was completely inevitable. You couldn't do anything, so he was fucked from the start. Best thing Gordon could have done is actually killed him, put him out of his misery, rather than Amanda suffocating him in the third movie. But basically, Amanda fucked Adam. Not that way. Not that way. I know you guys. But basically, grimdark is not even I don't think it's even a subgenre of horror. Like, horror is subliminal. It can be so many different things. Like, what counts as scary and what counts as disturbing is two different things. Like, Krampus, yeah, Krampus was a very good movie. It was actually pretty disturbing. But basically, grimdark implies this. Like, if you want a good explanation of what grimdark is, go watch the what did Scribbler call her old podcast? Oh, Babel, something like that, where she has Lost as a guest, and they talk about the subject of grimdark. Grimdark is put into two definitions. Either one, it's a seriously fucked up story with a fucked up ending, or two, the story ends with like a sense of hopelessness, or the story all around has a sense of hopelessness in it. Like, constantly had that feeling of like dread, disturbance, even emotions, because just listen to the soundtrack to Silent Hill. You'll understand what I mean. Just listen to Promise. Promise has a very calm feeling to it, but you can also tell it's eerie. Like, you can tell it's a very eerie track with like very eerie elements to it, but it's also got a very calm nature to it, a mysterious vibe. Like, that's what I based Conflict between Dusk and Twilight on. That is what you should expect. Don't expect it to be scary. Don't expect it to be like that. Go into it just expecting something disturbing and mysterious, because that's the two things that play into it the most, are basically disturbing elements and a mystery. I'll just say that. It's not going to be a scary story. I'm just going to state that for the record. It's not a scary story. It's more of a, oh my God, what the fuck did I just listen to kind of thing. Well, I wouldn't even say that, but I'd be like, it's like me at the end of Awoken. I was pissed. I was so pissed off that Rainbow Dash got away with it when the guy could have fucking killed her. And yes, I have seen the what do you call those things? Sinister Symphony of that Lost released this morning. Damn good. A freaking Rainbow Dash laugh though. Ugh. And I can see that, my colleagues around me are also trying different things. Like, Scribbler's still doing stories, but Lost is trying music now. And she's good. She's doing a great job at it. I mean, Mag's more experienced in musical production, pitch as well. Like, Mag has a lot of musical experience, so I could see Lost going that route. And when she announced, Sinister Symphonies, I'm like, okay, this is going to be musically based. Probably stuff about like songs about grimdark stories. There you go. I thought it would be more of an original thing rather than just parodies, but whatever, it works. It's just something. It's something. Like, I could see Lost running out of ideas easily. It's hard to come up with original ideas anymore. Like this one for Conflict Between Dusk and Twilight, I've had it in my head for a little while. I just really didn't know how to portray it until I started just sitting down, sitting my ass down and writing. And that's basically how it came to light. Disturbing is good for me. Can't wait. So the Halloween fuck it, crying. So the Halloween special is going to be more grimdark than your normal stuff. I can't really say much without giving away spoilers. Let's just say it's going to be a different kind of thing. Just bear with me. Now I know that Grogar is cliche. It's a pony version of the movie Krampus. Not exactly. The person who wrote that story, Jade Ring, wrote that story long before Grogar was even was in Grogar technically, just visually was Grogar. That was written way before that. That was like, God, which month of Macabre was that? 2017? It wasn't even a month of Macabre. It was actually Christmas. Well, I think hard about that one. I believe that was 2017, if I remember correct. Either that or it was 2016, one of the two. I think it was 2017 for sure, because I don't think I was really into doing things outside of October yet. Like I was still finding my grounding in 2016. I'd have to look. Let's see. She screwed him over. Are we talking about something like that? I don't know. But at least you ended it properly. Oh, yeah, Reborn. Yeah, Reborn was basically me saying, fuck you, ending to Awoken. I am going to write this story correctly. This time, Rainbow Dash ain't gonna win. And I'm actually gonna give her a goddamn motive for her reasonings for doing these things. That's the one thing that bugs me about a villain. If they are not written with a motive, they are not a villain. They are just, I don't know, a Mary Sue. Like, unless, okay, first rule about ever making a villain. If you're ever going to make a villain character, make sure you give them a motive, like a reasoning for why they're evil. Otherwise, it's not a realistic character, period. And that was Lost's biggest problematic thing, or that was Lost's biggest problem on why she didn't like the Rainbow Factory, because Dash was basically just doing murder to do murder. She didn't have a motive. Well, they give her kind of a motive, but it's not a logical one. Payment for just because you can't pay your bills for the house above Ponyville, that, mind you, I don't think whatever, that's subliminal. But basically, that is not a reason to kill ponies, your own kind. Killing is inspired by traumatizing childhoods. Read the backstories of any serial killer. It mostly involves either a really fucked up life or a childhood where they were influenced to do these things. Ones that I can name with this, John Wayne Gacy. What's his name? Oh, fuck. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez or something like that. Which did a fantastic job in American Horror Story. It's another killer with that kind of influence. Let me think. Ed Gein wasn't really ever given a reason, but that's just two killers right there with those two things that give the motive of why they did those things. They were influenced by these things. So they were brainwashed into believing that killing was a good thing, not a bad thing. Jeffrey Dahmer was a cannibal. He was just a psychopath. Oh God. Eileen, what's her name? Fuck. The one that's in Monster. She's the prostitute, the one that gets, that kills men. But that's another one. She basically kills men because of, something that happened in her life. She's been a runaway prostitute for a long time, and she kills men because she thinks men are bad people. Things that make your mind think otherwise is a motive. That's why Reborn, the motive for Rainbow Dash was that she was manipulated by the drugs that was given to her by the factory monsters, the owners of the factory. Those are the true monsters, the runners of the production. Medication can easily fuck you up. I've seen too many accounts of it. There's been many occasions where medication nearly fucked me up. There was one that I was on with my epilepsy where I was angry, mean. Like, and I don't mean like just like a mild mean, I mean mean, like very like bullyish. And my mom did not like it at all. Gotta think. The others just gave me rashes or made me sick. But basically, yeah, medication can lead you to having a corrupted mindset. It'd be like Jekyll and Hyde. Are you serious right now? Could you please just... No. But basically, that's what I mean. A villain needs motive to do what they do. They can't just be mindless killers. They have to have reason. Jeffrey Dahmer was practically neglected as a child and got too far into his own little world. Yep. There you go. Having no guidance as a kid, that can lead you to easily. Bad influences, they can lead you easily into bad things. That's all it takes is one bad influence. Whether it be drugs, alcohol, your peeps, it doesn't matter. Things need to lead you to these things because it's not sensible as a human being. I mean, the main reason people are bullied is because those bullies' lives are shit. They basically get off to your they get pleasure out of your like your suffering because of the fact they secretly are suffering in their real life. That's why should a bully really shouldn't be looked at as a bad guy, because while they are doing something bad, it comes from a source. Bullies are it's not right, don't get me wrong, but bullies have a reason to do what they do. It's